there was a huge culture shift that had to occur in Philadelphia when you talk about not placing young people in congregate care, because honestly, placing in congregate care was simply easy.
In 2020, OCFS issued a directive requiring all of our counties and voluntary agencies to implement what we were calling, and we still call, a kinship firewall. And we paired this directive with our work around blind removals. And it's really important that we did. The blind removals address with intentionality disparities at CPS. So the decision making around whether or not to remove a child, addressing implicit bias and race, and really trying to be intentional to address the number of children of color in child welfare. Once the decision is made whether or not to remove a child, then we have the kinship firewall.
One of the reasons why we rolled out the commissioner's approval process, actually with the support of Annie Casey, was because at that particular time in 2012, we had a tremendous amount of young people who were placed in congregate care. To give you a sense of the numbers, we had close to 1,000 young people placed in congregate care in the city of Philadelphia. And so we knew that we needed to do some things differently because congregate care wasn't good for our young people. And so we instituted the congregate care approval process. We have been very diligent in ensuring that we continue to review every young person. When there is a recommendation that the young person be placed in congregate care, we take a look at that and we scrutinize the reason why there's a recommendation to place in congregate care. And so now I'm happy to report, so we went from 1,000 young people in congregate care to 255 young people who are placed in congregate care setting.
One of the key components in the commissioner's approval process is also the dialogue that we often have with not only our central referral unit social work, but also the workers themselves. We have, and I say we because the analysts as well as myself, we've reached out, just wanted just a little clarification and just making sure, have we done our due diligence, but also help me understand this young person a little bit better. Is this the right fit? Have we really explored all of kin?
The advice that I would give to another leader who wants to implement the commissioner's approval process is certainly to do the work that is necessary up front to educate the necessary internal staff, but also external stakeholders as well. And so certainly the courts, which include your judges and probation officers, as well, but also educating the parent advocates and the child advocates in terms of the reason why congregate care will not be approved, and the philosophy around wanting to place young people with their families and in a family-based setting. I think it's also important to, share the outcomes of young people who are placed in congregate care settings.
Pairing these two directives together, requiring the implementation of the blind removal process, the development of the kinship firewall, for us is the best way to address two of the major challenges that we're facing. A, the disparity, and B, also, as you're speaking to, the high rates of placement of youth in congregate care.
If we have birth families that are around or effective kin that is available and willing and able and approved, we should be utilizing them so that then we are opening up space in a foster home for a child who may not have kinship placements to go to. And we're taking that placement away from that child who may now end up in a residential facility or in a hotel.
Really wanted to create a team to make sure that there were individuals who are searching for relatives. And if the decision for placement is anything other than with a relative, then that there would be administrative review of that decision. So removing all of the weight from just the caseworker alone and elevating and bringing in the supervisory structure as well as the broader administrative team within the child welfare agency.
Over and over again, to be honest, I have seen children, entering into the child welfare system. And when it is possible, for them to remain with family or, a relative, and services can be put in place to support or uphold that family while they're going through that rough spot. That's going to be so much better for that family.
The directive is the easy part. The work is wrapping around and stepping outside of your agency and listening to those who are impacted by your system. Understanding how relatives need childcare and how hard it is to get childcare in some parts of the state, and the impact that has on their ability to step up and be kin caregivers. Or what it means to have your daughter's children in your home and having to go to court to be a father. The weight of all of this, I don't think that I can just speak for myself, have spent enough time digesting the trauma that everybody is experiencing. So my advice is commit, draft up your directive, and then roll up your sleeves and start doing the work, making sure that you're trauma informed, you're having the right conversations, have a parent advisory board, and listen to the families, the relatives, the foster parents who are stepping in, and design your system around that voice.